Hello, Internet, and welcome back, or shall I say, welcome to Stellaris. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is actually the continuation of a. Hang on, let me just let me just like lower the music volume real quick. Just a bit. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. This is the continuation of a Spore playthrough, actually, that you can see on this channel. There will be a link to the playlist in the description if you want to check that out. Also, going up later today, there will be a, well, not today, but when this video comes out, there will be a come on, words, a little side video of me actually like creating this empire in order to play for this, since during the playthrough now we're just kind of jumping right into things. I actually did forward time just a little bit. It's actually been like 2 weeks since the start of a gaming game, but otherwise it is start of game. As I showed at the end of the first Spore playthrough, it is very much just, here we are. Our billions of years long evolutionary journey has led us to the stars, and rather than play through Spore's rather anemic space phase, I figured instead we could take our glorious creation, the Kawkusis, and have them go forth into space in a more lore-rich and interesting sort of way. And so we are going to begin, and I'm going to kind of walk through my first few steps. The first thing we're going to want to try and do is figure out kind of where we are relative to everyone else, but also just claim territory. And we do that by having our science vessels, who are kind of already manned. We're going to have them go to this system, and we're going to have another one go to this system. And what they'll do when the game finally, like, when we unpause, we will be able to, they'll basically go to say, like, this system here. They'll go to all these planets, we'll scan every single one of them, it'll reveal resources, or say, like, what this planet's surface is like. This is a potentially habitable world. As we can see here, it's a continental world. It has the size of 15, meaning it's a fairly decent first planet. I wonder, let me look real quick. What's this planet like? This one is also a continental world, but it's size 16, so it's slightly bigger, can fit more stuff on it. Here's what, the planet kind of looks like. Yeah, it's gonna be... Oh, I also maybe want to preface this. There's gonna be a lot of reading in this. I'm probably gonna skim read most of the events and maybe just summarize them as they come up. However, more interesting events that come up, I will probably read in full, and I apologize in advance for how terrible that's going to sound with this microphone. Maybe when I finally get a new full-time job, I'll be able to actually afford a better microphone to record these with. But until then, I've already kind of set up like our starting like technologies, what we're going to research, in like about 5 years. We're gonna have all of our like starting techs. This won't come up for a year. I'm trying to think of anything else we may have. Oh, you know what? I never set the default rates for aliens. Are we going to have aliens be slaves by default? Well, me just saying that probably just demonetized this video. Ha! Joke's on them. I don't make money off of these videos anyways. You know what? I mean, let's just have them be residents, because then they're at least less unhappy. But because we are xenophobic, we can't give him full citizen rights. And I'll hopefully the Empire creation video will kind of explain a lot of what's going on here now. But the biggest thing that you have to keep in mind for our immediate game plan is we are eager explorers, meaning that we have faster sublight speed, faster survey speed, meaning we scan planets faster in order to claim them. We are like kind of just better at exploration. However, we have the downside that we kind of, well, I mean, you saw what happened at the end of the Spore segment of this. We built one faster than light capable ship, and then we just punted our civilization out into space like it was nothing. So we're not exactly prepared for space travel on a large scale, but we're working on it. So I'm going to now unpause the game. The science vessels will start exploring, events will start rolling in, and we will see just what happens. Yeah. So, and more than likely each episode is going to be like 25 years in game. To put that in perspective, it has been a month already for me unpausing. But the game will pause, and I will pause the game every once in a while in order to like kind of take in events as they're happening, because otherwise it can get very overwhelming at the start. But yeah, here is our little spacecraft going and doing. If I hit Control F9, there we go. And hey, look, that could be the. That right there could be our thumbnail. Yeah, I actually learned how to hide the HUD in this game, specifically for the purposes of being able to get thumbnails easier. Yeah. Alright. And we are currently making no minerals. We really ought to fix that. Oh, wow. We have, like, fucking nothing going on. Okay, hang on, we need, like, you. Sorry. That was a sneeze. Alright, now that we're gonna have, like, some minerals coming in. Basically how resources in this game work is that you have kind of, like, two different tiers of resources. You have your basic ones, you have your energy, you have your minerals, you have your food, fairly self-explanatory, and then you have other things that convert these three resources into things like consumer goods, alloys, trade, strategic resources, and unity and research. Unity and research usually is a result of converting consumer goods into those. It's not a complicated, oh, and we have already, hang on, we have unlocked a tradition, which means we can actually choose something to, if you're familiar with the game Civilization, we can, it's kind of like the social policies that you can get in Civilization, or at least, like, Civ 5, I want to say, had something kind of similar to this. Which was, I believe, the most recent Civ game when this game first came out, so makes some sense. We can pick any one of these. Well, there are some that we can't pick. Some of these we have to have various technologies unlocked, or various like events, like say for this one, the galactic community has to be formed, but since we don't know that aliens exist yet, we need to... we can't pick that. If we go, like, farther down into here, we get things like cloning, cybernetics, mutations, synthetics, psionics, you know, like, really sort of mid to late game, like, super powerful perks that, like, radically change how you play the game. But for now, I think we are going to go with expansion. Where is it? Expansion, because that's good for early game, and it allows you to do things like, say, all your colonies start with extra people, or starts with extra urban districts. Oh, it actually changed. It used to be your colonies start with extra people. Now, you know, say, like, your colonies grow faster, your colonies are, like, your systems are cheaper for you to claim. So, I think I'm going to take expansion.
Council agenda available.
That's going to give us council agenda, and apparently we have found a archaeological dig site, and apparently we have found some kind of abandoned structure on the surface of a planet. Okay, we'll look into that later. We don't have to look at it right now, but it could potentially in the future hold some useful information. And we have discovered alien life. The KSV Inklak. Hang on, how the hell? Inklak Oopsix, as how I'm going to say that is pronounced, has made a startling find on Golba 3. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate on Kawkusis. God damn it. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believed we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on Golba 3 are sapient, it is likely only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. We may not be alone out there. And so we get a little bit of society research from that. Oh, that's not even the same system. We're looking at this system. Alright. Cool. And we now have another event. Contact report Planetary Animalia. The priesthoods on Kawkusis had a generally favorable reaction to the reports of complex yet dumb organisms found on alien planets. The findings spark some interdoctrinal debate. Is it proof that the Kawkuses are the lords of all creation, or have we simply not yet encountered our brethren from beyond the void? And so now, because we are spiritualist, authoritarian, or xenophobic, we can kind of choose a response to this. It gives us progress on different technologies. So if we go with we are one with the cosmos, we get progress on automated colony ships. If we are authoritarian, we say our dominance must be asserted. We get administrative AI progress, which I believe gives, if I were to look at it, more research speed. Oh, that'd be nice, actually. Or we must fortify our defenses against the unknown because we are xenophobic, which gives us ground defense planning. It basically means our defensive armies are better at holding off invasion forces. I don't entirely know what we need research, because our origin has put us at like technologically behind. We should probably focus on getting more research. So I'm actually going to take this. So our dominance must be asserted. I swear I won't explain like everything going on because there's a lot of cases where I don't even know what's going on. So we'll have to see how this goes.
Construction complete.
All right, excellent. And we now have a couple starting mining stations thrown up, just so that we're getting some minerals incoming, which is going to be needed later. We have our first event from our origin. Matriarch Inax Zankikin put an end to our our internal strife and brought about the unification. She came to power on a platform of patriotic unity and imperialism, promising to lead us into the stars and create a grand galactic empire. Today, our people grow impatient, and dissident voices question our leadership abilities. The Council has prepared several 40-year plans that will put these doubts to rest and propel us to the next age of our species. Let's get to work.
Situation log updated.
So, let's look at that event right now. So, we have sort of, what do we have? Basically, during the unification period, swore one day our people would settle other planets. So basically, we have to... despite advances in FTL technology, some have started using this unfulfilled promise to determine the rule, to undermine the rule of the matriarch. The surest way to science is to prove him wrong, take to the stars, sell them new worlds, expand our borders as much as possible. So basically, we have 40 years to basically claim as much space as we possibly can. And then, once we get to that point, we can effectively... It'll raise assuredness in our leader, VV. I think I joked during the creation of this empire that the matriarch is actually just the tribal chieftain from the tribal stage in Spore. Somehow that one individual has been alive for all this time and has just been ruling from their basically their old palace, which actually, you know what, considering this origin is heavily inspired by like Warhammer 40,000 and kind of a few other franchises, the idea that somebody who's been around since like the absolute ancient times of our species is now going and like ruling in the modern days still is actually pretty apt. So yeah, we're gonna unpause. We're just gonna keep on.
System survey complete.
All right. Now that that has been claimed, we can. Well, now that it has been surveyed, we can send a construction vessel to claim it. Basically, what it'll do is it will go and build like a little buoy. Yep. Mass extinction. What the hell?
Situation log updated.
First steps into the void beyond Kawkusis are driven not just by curiosity or conquest, but necessity. The biosphere of Kawkusis has rapidly changed, with scientists warning of a potential mass extinction event. A cyclical purging of life inherent to planetary existence in the cosmos. Okay, so we basically need to try and figure out if it's really like that inevitable, or is it something that we can just kind of... Alright, mass extinctions through the ages event chain.
Situation log updated.
But yes, as before I was interrupted by our existential existential quandaries, our little construction vessel is basically going to go, they're going to build this blueprint, and then once this is built, it will officially be like a buoy that says, hey, this land belongs to us. And I think... we need to, like... Ooh, desolate planet. System still with fossilized traces of a past ecology on its sleeve. What could turn a thriving biosphere? Okay, so this is a, like, research project.
Situation log updated.
Okay. And we're gonna just sort of slowly...
Council agenda ready.
Gonna expand the council in order to get more bonuses. Hang on, if I go back to that screen, I'm gonna pause it. This screen basically allows us to assign leaders, various roles. We have like Minister of State, Minister of Defense, of course the Matriarch, Head of Research. We can also get specific bonuses based on like what our civics are that give us like passive bonuses that make our civilization like even more powerful in a lot of ways. But right now, what we're going to be doing is just kind of ignoring that for now, and we're just going to focus on, you know, fulfilling that dream of going out into space and just claiming as much of it as we can. In fact, hang on, we should probably go to policies real quick. Expansionist, oppressive vassalage, sure. Actually, let's go with balanced vassalage, just so that way people are a little bit less against the idea of being it. First contract protocol, aggressive. Swap that to cautious. Initial board status, clothed, militarized economy, wealth creation. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Pre-sapiens tolerated, robotic workers allowed, slavery, purge. Yeah, okay, that's all fine. Right. Oh, if you're expecting like optimized play during this, you will be sadly mistaken. Right.
Construction complete.
Alright, so that's that done. Now we're gonna go and we're gonna colonize this planet. It's not a very good planet, though admittedly it has a fair number of farming districts, so we can use that. We're going to designate it to be an agri-world, and we're gonna colonize it. And we're gonna call it, hang on, let's pause it while we're thinking of a name for the planet. Let's just call it Golba Pastures. There we go. Or, no, that implies livestock. I mean, we are an omnivorous species, as we were in, Spore, so, food is fairly abstract, in this. It's just anything that could basically yield nutrition that is organic in nature. There are some species that don't need food. But, let's call it just Golba Farms. There we go. Alright, and that will order up a colony ship to be built, and it will be underway. We can choose a new thing. In fact, colony development speed increase, and we get an extra urban district when colonizing. You know what? That sounds fine.
Complete.
We can...
Anomaly found.
If you're wondering about why there are these, like, lanes that I'm completely ignoring, that is because our ships don't actually follow these, which gives us a slight advantage over the other civilizations in the galaxy. They have to follow these lanes. We don't, but our ships aren't as good in a lot of other respects. They have less hit points. We have no military fleet to speak of. In fact, we kind of need to work on that. How much longer until we get the basic military vessel is going to be like 30 months. So we'll have to see how that goes. Sorry. The upside is that we're going to be able to kind of jump around and claim space more effectively, if that makes any sense. Alright. So, where were we? Oop. Let's take Meticulous so we get more anomaly discovery chance. Because that should allow us to more easily claim large swathes of territory.
Construction complete.
We're immediately going to go and claim that space we just surveyed. And we're going to go to this planet. And, this planet kind of sucks. You see how some of these districts are highlighted red? It's kind of hard to tell with the mining districts, but like this has a blocker, this has a blocker. Basically means we can't use these districts until we research a certain technology, or maybe an event occurs that removes them. But we're going to take this, mainly because we just need it for a few... Ooh, we have found Zro. KSV, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. The science vessel has discovered a previously unknown strategic resource dubbed Zro in the Elamir system. It is a rare aerosol of unknown origin, and when ingested, it enhances the psi abilities of psionically gifted individuals. How we know this, given that we do not know that psionics do not exist? Who knows? But alright. We cannot extract this resource yet, but we can establish control over the system for future exploitation. Alright, so basically, potentially useful, can't do anything with it right now. I wonder if that means we're gonna get the Zeroni as our I think I'm gonna make this an industrial world. You tend to need one of those. And I'm gonna call this, you know what? In honor of one of the, I think, only regular viewers of this series so far, I'm gonna call it,
Construction complete.
Reaper's Folly. Because it was a mistake to settle here, but we'll figure it out eventually. Yeah, we're gonna have the pop growth speed increase from our traditions. And we're just gonna keep on letting things go. Things will, hopefully go a bit faster as time goes on, but until then we don't have a whole lot going on. If things get particularly slow, I may... Oh, hey, we got alien zoos. Why do we have... well, okay. I think I want more unity, though. Oh, geez, 124 months. Okay, we need to maybe work on... Ooh, mass extinction, noxious planets. Okay. Allegedly, this planet's flora and fauna choked on their own poisonous emissions. Okay.
Situation log updated.
We're just gonna go and grab that. And then we're gonna... Yeah, it's kind of fun watching our ships just kind of go like all over the place. It is rather amusing. Because otherwise they'd have to go from here to here to here. Instead, we could just go boink, right here. Which does give us an advantage. Not a huge one, but it does give us one. Unfortunately, by the time we meet other empires, we're probably just going to take their FTL tech and use the hyperlanes instead, just for the sake of being able to make our ships better. But until then, I don't know. Maybe we could actually make it so we could just jump from star to star however we felt like. That'd be interesting.
Construction complete.
Alright, so that's like a little dead end, so we can actually... Yeah, the problem is that they can't, like, jump out of this range. But there are ways of, there are ways of,
System survey
changing
complete.
that. Alright. Alright. Okay, hang on. How do you... Okay. Move here. Alright. Yeah, they just have to... Oh, our leader's leveled up. Let's get them more meticulous, more anomalies for us to research later. Means more potential goodies. We're going to go to survey. Survey. That's a noxious planet event. Okay, so we're kind of getting that taken care of. Yeah, I just realized after all this time, it's only been like 4 in-game years. I may actually lower how long these videos are going to be. I'm not sure. Depending on how quickly some of these episodes go, I may limit it to only 15 years an episode. Or maybe even only 10. Depends, really. Because most Stellaris games take about 200 to like 300 years. So the game will end by probably at the latest the year 2500. It is currently the year 2204. So we'll have to see. We have found a dead frozen planet.
Situation log
Lovely.
updated.
And apparently a leader is available. You know what? You can give us more trade from jobs. That sounds good. Do we have like a bunch
System
of...
survey complete.
You know what? I'm gonna like build an extra... Oh, hang on. Enigmatic spacefarers. We have apparently found unidentified ships in the Helos system. Oh! What on earth is this? The Samek menace. Interesting. That is definitely something. Now we're going to assign the one envoy that we have in order to discovering what it is. At least until we find something that's potentially more important. Who knows? Oh, are these not going to actually move? Oh, hang on. No, they are not going to actually move. Okay. That's kind of annoying, actually, because they don't have the proper FTL engines. Yep. Alright, now they're here. Okay.
Anomaly found.
You. Colonize planet. We want this to be... Hang on, let's pause some things, because we're getting things popping up. What was this one going to be? This was going to be our agro world? Yes. Yeah? This was going to be our agri world. Yeah, this is going to be Golba Farms. Colonize. Gonna go to Golba Farms. Okay. And this one is going to be colonize planet. This is going to be an industrial world. Colonize. This one is going to be Reaper's Folly. Okay. Right. Now we should be good to, like... Oh, hang on. We have actually encountered other aliens. Oh no. These. Alright. We have encountered aliens in the Halax system, and they are horrible, disgusting worms. These things. I was hoping not to run into these for too long, and you will see why when we finally get ourselves introduced. Right.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
We're gonna go to yes. New colony. So yes. So we have claimed our first new world, and we have dubbed the planet Golba Farms, a first step towards fulfilling the matriarch's promise of galactic ambition. So, we are going to continue, and apparently we have our military vessels unlocked, which is good because we're going to need them. We're going to need them badly. I think we should probably take carrier operations, and let's grab hyperdrives, because if it's going to screw with the automation of our ships, I think that should be dealt with sooner rather than later. It has also occurred to me that we have no science buildings, which is a slight problem. And so I may actually... What's our current... Oh! Hey! Okay. So we have found our precursor, the Grunner. KSV, that one. The crew are eager to report they have discovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring species in the Hilo system who appear to have inhabited the planet some 7 million years ago. While it's unclear why this species, so called themselves the Grunner, disappeared from the Hilo system, our scientists have isolated a promising archaeological dig site on their planet. Perhaps further study will yield more clues. Cool, so now we have that. And as we kind of work on this, we can work on getting our ships kind of upgraded. Are these going to attack Golba Farms or worse off our homeworld? I really hope not, given how we do not have a means of fighting them. They have these things are deceptively strong, even for the mid to late game. And this thing is just like a random... It's just like a random little thing. Yeah, sorry, welcome to the early game of Stellaris. There's just not a whole lot that's going on.
Anomaly found.
We're kind of just doing things. It's been 6 years.
Construction complete.
Ooh, we found some more planets. We found a tomb world, interestingly enough, although we can't really... we can. Alright, yeah, we have found a tomb world of Wanya 2. Rocky world with a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere is currently experiencing a nuclear winter with dense layers of sooty aerosols in the atmosphere, high levels of surface radiation, and minimal signs of life. So, at some point, somebody used to live here, and quite obviously not anymore. Or actually, possibly still. That's the interesting thing about tomb worlds in this game, is that they usually have lots of weird goodies on them. What's the quote from Rick and Morty? Always respond to distress signals in deep space, because usually you're just gonna find a bunch of dead aliens and some fun loot. Yeah, tomb worlds are a lot like that. Hey look! A bunch of dead aliens! And free shit! It's great! Or, you know, maybe you find some people who have somehow survived and blasted themselves back to the Bronze Age, in which case then, well, they're very easily subjugated. Which is useful in a lot of instances. Um, but anyways, yeah, let's continue. In fact, I may want to kind of postpone getting our we want to postpone grabbing all those spaces and instead work on exploring that tomb world, because that tomb world might, capturing that bit of space has a tomb world in it, because that might be a very useful bit of stuff in there. Because who knows what might be in there, Could be all kinds of fun things. Anyways, I think our economy is finally starting to get off on the right foot, which is good. Just to speed things along, I think I'm going to build a research lab in our archival district, just as kind of a means of speeding along our research, because we did start with below what is usually the standard grade for technology in this game. Now look, the void worms are leaving. I think it's probably for the best. Ooh, Habitable World Survey. Do we want to dedicate time and resources to finding more habitable worlds? I'm gonna be honest, we have more important stuff to worry about. So we'll take the Unity. And I think we're going to survey this system and survey this system. And then I'm going to build another ship, I think. Shipyard, we're going to build another engineering vessel. We're going to use that to try and get a bit more stuff going. Oop, hold on. Right. So, cities built on Golba farms are a sight to behold. Through grit and determination, the colonists have managed to thrive on a new world. Kawkusis citizens on Golba farms decide to show their loyalty by erecting a monument to honor matriarch Inax Zenkikin. So we have a couple options here. We can let them do this, in which case we get a result in 180 days to 1 year. We can grant them additional funding if we had the resources for it. Unfortunately, we don't. We could quickly buy some resources. In fact, actually, I might do that. Grant them additional funding for a grand and lavish thing. Or we could just say, you know what, put those resources to something more useful rather than building big statues. Maybe just get the planet built up a bit more. In fact, yeah, let's have them do that. That seems to be a bit more useful. Hey! Global Farms is commemorated. Every state-owned screen in the Caucasan Holy Council interrupts its scheduled stream to broadcast an official communication from Global Farms. Matriarch Inax Zankikin stands in front of a veiled monument. Today, we have made history. Never before has our species realized a grander achievement. The people of Golba Farms wanted to honor me today, but they are the real heroes of our people. I am but a servant of our nation. Thank you. We take another step towards a brighter future. Such humility. So, apparently the luminary trait of our matriarch improves. I may look into that later in order to see what happens. But also, the residential monument modifier is added to Golba Farms. We need to get extra housing and amenities because I guess they're living in like a big, like dedicated, I don't know, apartment complex or something that's dedicated to our leader. And apparently we also gain positive media coverage for 2 years, meaning everybody in our empire is a little bit happier. You know, it's like, hey, look, our leader is actually doing stuff for them, which is good. Such humility. This is why I refuse to have such proud colonists build a monument in my name. Instead, the funds were used for a city building. Prosperity awaits. Alright.
An alien empire now speaks to us in the language of the divine.
Apparently, we have identified the unknown vessel in our, system here as a ghost ship. Interesting. I think I'm going to leave this episode off here. This has been a very good first few steps into Stellaris, and hopefully we have more progress to come. So, without further ado, I'm going to cut it here, and I hope you all enjoyed watching. I hope you continue to tune in for the future adventures of the Grand Matriarch, and of course, the Kawkusis as a whole. Things are about to get very interesting, I feel. And so, I wish you all take care. See ya.